Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Art Table with Peerless Watercolors. I'm Cassie, and this is the table where my daughters and I do all of our art. So we thought we would bring you into our home and share some tips, tricks, fun activities to do with Peerless Watercolors here. So today we are going to be making pastel colors. As we get into spring, we want to make those, soft, Eastery kind of colors. And a lot of people know our watercolors as very vibrant, very bold, very concentrated, but it's really easy to make those pastel colors, especially with our CMYK Liquid Set in our bottles with the droppers. I'm going to show you how to make 5 pastel colors today. It's super easy. You can translate it to any color that you want to lighten up. When mixing pastel colors and trying to achieve that lighter, softer color, a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna add white. But since watercolor is a transparent medium, the secret is actually not white. The secret is adding water. It's as simple as that. So we have very concentrated watercolors. If you do 1 drop of CMYK colors or any liquid watercolors that you would get from Peerless, it's very concentrated. So what we're actually going to do is add not even a drop, just a touch of our concentrated color into water, and we're gonna get those pastel colors. So today in this episode, I'm gonna show you how to mix pastel bright primary colors. So we're gonna use the magenta, the cyan, and the yellow to make pastel pink, yellow, and blue. And then we're gonna mix a pastel purple and a pastel green to show you how those secondary colors mix. So first, let's start by adding our water. I did a few tests and I personally like when we add 20 drops of water and then add a little color. So right now I'm going to add 20 drops into here. Can't lose track. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's 20 drops. Actually, let me fill all these up. And a side note, I took this cap from my black color. It took a lot of rinsing to get this clear and clean so that I'd have clear water. So what I recommend you do, we sell these droppers individually. I recommend you get a couple extra ones just to have on hand for having clean water, for replacing bottles, or just to have in your set. This is handy. I will not put it in the black until I'm done with this tutorial. So I have 20 drops of water in each of these 3 wells. I'm going to just add a dot of each color in the middle here so that it's not touching anything yet. All right, so first let's do the pastel pink. So I've got 20 drops of water in here. All I'm going to do is dip my brush, barely even touching the pink. And we can mix that in. And let's test that. So we've got a very, very light pastel pink. Now, if you want a little bit more, you can always play around with it. Add a tiny bit more. And we've got even a brighter pink there. So the more water you add, the lighter it gets. It's as easy as that. All right, so then we're gonna want to start this next color with a very clean brush, because as you saw, just a tiny bit of color goes a long way. All right, so let's mix this yellow, 1 little dot, into the well right here, and you see even just a little bit of that pink got in there. We'll still try it. There we go. So we've got this amazing pastel yellow. These colors make me so excited for spring. All right, let's try and rinse our brush even better this time. All right, let's try blue. I'm barely even touching those drops in the center, you guys. And they're beautiful pastel blue. So you can get such a range of colors from these CMYK colors, and that's why we're so excited about them. That's why we have our community recipe book online so that you guys can submit your own color recipes as you discover all the colors that you can make. And I've just been playing around. I need to submit my colors that I've been playing with because I'm very excited about them. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we will make a purple and a green just to show you how you can even put 2 tiny dabs of color and water and it'll still be a perfect pastel color. So let's join pink and blue together. So I'm just gonna add a tiny dot of blue into this pink. And this one I found that you kind of really have to mix all together. Let's see. Alright, and this is where we play around with it because that's kind of a sky blue, so we need a teeny bit more pink in there. And you can see it in the well. I could see it before I even painted it. There we go. This is why I always have I have little pieces of swatch or scraps that my daughter has drawn her thing and cut it out, and then she just leaves these scraps. So I take them and I use them on the side just to test colors as I'm painting, or if I want to try out a new recipe. Yes, that is the purple we're looking for. All right, so I'm going to get my brush wet, clean it all off. This is where these bitty blotters come in handy, just to have on the side here. Wipe your brush off, make sure it's clean. All right, let's do a pastel green. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of blue, probably the rest of this. We might need a tiny bit more. Nope, that looks good. So in here, we have 2 teeny tiny drip drops of yellow, one of blue, and 20 drops of water. So it's very diluted. You are barely using any of your actual color here. And here we've got very light pastel green. These colors are just so nice and springy. So then you can play around with different colors and variations. I was playing around yesterday. I have all these colors where I mixed the base color and then added a ton of water to get a very light pastel-y color. And it's kind of fun to see like the purples go from deep royal purple all the way to pastel purple. I was playing around with 10 drops of water with 1 teeny dip of my brush of the concentrated color, up to 20, all these different variations. So I've got so many colors I can play with now. I hope that helps. You are getting so much color out of these CMYK liquid bottles that we have. Or you can do the same thing with our dry sheets. So let's actually try that. Before I leave you, let's try, what should we do? Let's try a dry sheet. Okay. So let's start with 20 drops of water in this last well here. And now you see why I said you want them very well cleaned out. So any drop of color that is in this dropper would get into your water and change your color. So I recommend having one designated just for water, super clean, doesn't ever touch another color. All right, so we've got 20 drops of water in this well. Let's just touch. This is chrome orange, so we'll get, there we go. So you can kind of see it mixing as you're in the well. And then, oh, it's even light, so I can still add some more. And you kind of play around with it to your liking. So now that I have this circle wet, this is a very nice pastel color. I can also show you that if you want, you can still dab your brush on the dry sheet and add it and mix it onto the page. So those are two different ways that you can do it. You can either mix it into a well. Actually, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can either mix it in the well and paint it straight onto the paper. You can kind of layer and add color directly on the page, or some people actually cut the dry sheet and add it to the paper so that the dry sheet is actually just kind of like swimming in the well and the water soaks up the color. You kind of push the dry sheet to the side and then you have your color in your well. I prefer to just dab and add as I go. But there you go. I hope this helped. We've got such beautiful, soft, pastel-y colors, and I'm going to be using these in some of my spring drawings and with my daughters. I'm so excited. Let me know if you've tried this, if you have some favorite colors that you're mixing right now. I love to hear from you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Art Table. Thanks.